I appreciate everybody. Thank you for the referrals. Couldn't have got here without you. Yeah, we had to cap registrations. We can't take any more on. We would be doing a disservice to our amazing customers. And it's a double-edged sword because now we can come across as ungrateful to some people sometimes, and that's not what it is at all. We are incredibly grateful for the word of mouth, for the warm referrals. We are incredibly grateful. We cannot service any more monthly houses at this time because I think we're going to be running 4 or 5 days behind here, at least for the next month or so. Again, hopefully we're caught up by the 4th. You know, the risk versus reward once I get into the season is not really there for me. It's much easier for me to hire, start interviewing, or find those people in January, February, look to onboard in March or even sooner, train. April hits, you know, March we're walking, April we're jogging, May we're running. And so once we kind of get into the fire here of the season, a lot harder to onboard somebody. Hello again, everybody. Chris Shipley, Shipley Pest Solutions. Finishing my day, June 10th. Beautiful day out. Beautiful day. 60, 65 degrees. Love these days. Can treat houses and go all day on days like today. Looks like next week we're going to get hit with 90s and summer is going to be here. So I think we're going to set in here hopefully with a pretty good dry period. We've got a lot of termite work building up, and I need to get it done. I think we have 3 bait systems in the hopper right now, and I think we have 7 liquid jobs right now. So lots of termite work. It's going. It's great. It just hasn't been dry enough to do the liquid jobs. And then specifically one termite bait station, we're waiting on them to get ready, and then 811 to clear so we can just go drill and drop. So overall though, we've had to cap registrations monthly, specifically our monthly summer solution registrations. We've had to cap them. We cannot do any more work. That's a thank you. We're very grateful for that. But it's also equally frustrating to not to just be like, yes, everybody. So just again, kind of more of the whole solving that labor issue. And for us specifically, now that we're into June here, you know, nearing into the second week of June, we went 6 business days over. One was a rain day, but we went 6 business days over with our first application because we apply 5 times, primarily May through September, not a monthly per se, but every 30 days starting around May. If you sign up for that, May through September, getting 5 applications. So we went 6 days over. Kind of just is what it is. We had quite a few rain days there, late April, May, and then of course letting an employee go didn't help either. So but we only went 6 business days over, so time to just make it up. If it would dry out, I think we can do that. I think we can get caught up by the 4th. I'm certainly going to try my best. I know I'm out there every week. I'm going to get my 60 plus hours and get my 25,000 steps. I shared that on one of the socials. I don't think I shared that on YouTube, but yeah, I had a day a couple weeks ago that was 25,000 steps. Apparently that's a lot. But yeah, just had to cap registrations. Obviously doesn't make me happy. Pretty frustrating. For us, now that we're going and we're into June, it's very difficult to bring on as a self-employed individual with a few part-time technicians. It is hard for me to just go out now in the marketplace and get another full-time technician, kind of where we're at, because now I'm looking at, okay, if I bring them on before July, I'm going to have 2 to 3 weeks of them just riding in the truck with me, then getting them out there on their own. And so realistically, I mean, I'm looking at this point, a 4 to 6 lead time before somebody's really out on their own and going. And so the risk to reward ratio there for me, the risk being obviously you hire somebody, they don't work out, you fire them 2 weeks in. Now you've completely lit time on fire because you're spending extra time to try and teach. And that is what it is. But, the risk versus reward once I get into the season is not really there for me. It's much easier for me to hire, start interviewing, or find those people in January, February, look to onboard in March or even sooner, train. April hits, March we're walking, April we're jogging, May we're running. And so once we kind of get into the fire here of the season, a lot harder to onboard somebody, take the time out to interview and to do those things. An hour or two here or there, yeah, long term, you hire the right person, that saves me time, money, effort, everything. But I think it's kind of hard to quantify sometimes when you're self-employed and you've got a few employees. It's very hard to kind of almost quantify the value of me taking an hour or two out to interview and talk on the phone and do those things. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the effort that is exerted to go out into the workplace and find somebody is a lot. And for a small company like myself, that is a lot of effort, between a couple people, if we're interviewing, talking to people, so if we're 2-4 hours into this, that's quite frankly just 4 hours that could be put into production at this point. And so, one of the disadvantages of being a small employee, or a small family employee business is I don't have an HR department to say, Brenda, go find me 3 employees on the double. Like, I don't have that advantage. And so I have to take time out of my day. It kind of just is what it is. And so, we got a couple part-time people. Obviously my wife, is out in a truck too, doing what she can do, but she's also incredibly valuable as the office manager and as my wife and as a mom. And so I take that stuff personal too. I don't want my wife out there having to make up, for our shortcomings. And so I'm incredibly grateful that she's willing to do that and does a great job at that. And then juggles it all as a mom, as a wife, as helping me run the business. I mean, that's amazing. And so, we had to cap registrations. We can't take any more on. We would be doing a disservice to our amazing customers. And it's a double-edged sword because now we can come across as ungrateful to some people sometimes, and that's not what it is at all. We are incredibly grateful for the word of mouth, for the warm referrals. We are incredibly grateful. We cannot service any more monthly houses at this time because I think we're going to be running 4 or 5 days behind here, at least for the next month or so. Again, hopefully we're caught up by the 4th of July. But yeah, I'm energetic. I'm still in great spirits. We finished our first applications today. That's always a big stress relief, so some of these houses we've already treated twice this season. And so, getting the ball rolling, we've worked a lot of kinks out. Both of these trucks have brand new spray systems in them, engine, pump, everything. We've got redundancies in place. We have extra parts, extra everything right now. And so we're set up because stuff will break. The law of running a business is parts will break. But if you have spares, they don't break as often. And so, just kind of is what it is. So tomorrow, I think I've got some bed bug, got some one-time treatments, and then starting June or the second applications. And so, looking forward to moving through this week. As far as insects go, if it ends up drying out and gets hot, like 90 degrees, the past 2 weeks we've experienced a lot of ant phone calls. And I think what those ant phone calls were, these sporadic ants showing up in bathrooms, kitchens, countertops, things like that. I think what had happened here over the last 2 weeks was the ants finally moved outside. They were finally moving out into their summer harborages, whether that's along a foundation edge, whether that's out in your planter boxes, whether that's out underneath the big landscaping. They've moved out out, meaning outside of the foundation. They've moved into those summer harborages after being bounced around this spring from all the rain and the cold. And so I think the ants are finally set up. So what's going to happen here is we warm up into June, headed towards July. We get 90 degrees here in northern Indiana. What'll happen is it'll dry the ground out finally, but a lot of things will end up, we get 3-ish weeks of hot stuff. Come the 4th of July, what'll happen is ground beetles, ants, and other various crawling insects will end up, earwigs will start showing up inside again because of moisture. And so it ends up being sort of a catch-22. And so you want, a little bit of rain, but not a ton, and because it kind of keeps everything settled where it is now for the next about 3 months here for us. So yeah, that's what's to expect. Unfortunately, we have to cap summer solution registrations again. I think this is our 3rd year in a row. 2022 was my fault, my knee's fault. I had 2 meniscus surgeries in 2022, and then last year we had a bad experience trying to hire people, and then this year just is what it is. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you for the referrals. Couldn't have got here without you. I feel like I'm accepting an academy. Thank you. Couldn't have done it without you. And yeah, just is what it is. Headed into June. Things are great. Loving life. Life is good. Have a good day.